Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today I'm back at the Amherst Railroad Hobby Show in West Springfield, Massachusetts. This is the largest railroad-themed hobby show in the entire United States. Just to give you an idea of how big this show is, this is only one building out of 4 that are completely packed with model railroads and other railroad-related items. Now, full disclosure, I do not currently own a model railroad. I did back in the 80s. Me and my brother had an HO scale train, and then we did get an O scale eventually. But since then, I really haven't had one. I would like to get one. Maybe in the future I will. But for now, I'm just doing some window shopping here, taking a look around, see what they got, and just enjoying the show. So come along with me and let's take a look around. One of the things that really jumped out at me was how expensive some of this stuff is, especially the locomotives. A lot of them were, at least a few $100s, but a lot of them, like this one, were over $1,000. This one is $14.99. And again, last time I bought a model train was back in the 80s, and I don't remember them being that expensive back then. But then again, I'm pretty sure the sets we got were starter sets, and they probably didn't cost more than a couple $100s for the entire setup. So if and when I do get back into the hobby, I'll probably start off with a starter set from Amazon, and then over time, add a new locomotive here and there, and just slowly build it up. These are HO scale trains. This locomotive here is $300. So right there, that's fairly expensive. I think if and when I start getting model trains again, I'll probably go with N scale, just because it is fairly small, but it's also still detailed. I don't think I would ever go as small as Z scale, which is just way too small for me, I think. But I really didn't see a ton of N scale here today. I saw a lot of HO, of course, O, and a lot of G scale. I thought these ones were kind of cool. I saw a few of these at the show, these ones that look to be old rocket launchers or missile launchers. I would assume those are probably from the 60s. And I think they were $65 a piece. I love this little streetcar here. It's $75. And a car transporter. I think if I did get back into the model railroad hobby, I would be going down a major rabbit hole because I honestly want to buy all of this. So that's an N scale train, and that's something I would probably get as one of my first trains. The car on the left is $300, and the locomotive on the right is $400. They've got $325 on this one in the display case, and it looks like they're charging $75 for the display case. And I think as we go through the show, I'm not going to say the price on everything just because that's going to get really boring, I think. But if something jumps out at me, I'll definitely let you know what they're asking for it. But it does seem like most of the individual cars here are going between like 50 and 80. That seems to be fairly common. Some higher, of course, some lower. Honestly, the prices are all over the place. And then this was one of the rare dealers that was not selling train-related items. He had a bunch of model cars, which I think you probably could use these in G-scale layouts. They're probably just about the right size for that. This kind of interested me. This is a Buick Regal. I'm not sure what year it is. I think it's from sometime in the 90s. I actually used to have an 86 Regal, so if this were, that style of Regal, I probably would have bought it. But the 90s Regal, and actually most 90s cars, kind of boring in my opinion. Here's a C4 Corvette, probably roughly like from 1984 or so. Didn't see a price on it though. And of course, they do have Hess trucks. I have to say, these Hess trucks were priced a bit higher than I'm used to seeing. They had these at 30 bucks. And I see Hess trucks at flea markets all the time in the original box like this. A lot of them priced at 10 to 20, and they don't seem to sell. So I doubt too many people are going to be buying those at $30. I like these Lionel passenger cars. I think they were priced between about $50 and $60, which sounds pretty good to me, actually. But I'm really not sure how old they are. It's hard for me to tell. Here's a bunch more Lionel trains. And I know Lionel's a big company, but to me, the Lionel trains look much more toy-like than a lot of the other brands, which look more like scale models, if you know what I mean. But let me know what you think about that in the comments. What are your opinions on Lionel? This is pretty cool. I guess this is an old Amtrak signal light of some sort. And a plaque from a diesel locomotive. I can't read the model number. I would guess that these gold-colored trains are from some sort of commemorative set. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more videos coming up. Thanks. Looks like most of these cars are about $150 to $160. No, just looking in general, browsing. On the bottom left here is a model of an 87 Buick Grand National, which is kind of like the souped up version of the Buick Regal. It's 28 bucks, and I would like to buy that if it didn't have the NASCAR badge on it. Not really into NASCAR. These little mail trucks are kind of neat. They're $6 each. You know, also, before somebody leaves a comment in the comment section saying that I didn't buy enough at this show, I didn't buy a lot at this show. I did buy a few things, but very few. I really wasn't here looking to buy just because, again, I don't have a model train set. This was more of a just to see what they have available and get an idea of what a model train would cost me, because again, I do think I might get one in the future. This Lionel locomotive is $900. And then for those of you that want to get the full model railroad experience, they do sell these conductor's hats, which I guess they're conductor's hats. I honestly don't know the difference between them, but they seem to all be $75. At first I thought these were buttons, but they're actually magnets, and they are $5 each. Looks like these are mostly different railroads. Recognize some of the names, but not all of them. And this guy's also selling conductor hats. His, though, are $70. So his are a little bit less expensive than the other guys. And he's also got a bunch of buttons, which, as some of you might know, I do collect buttons, so I did decide to get a few of these. These will be my first railroad buttons, and I am interested in the Amtrak ones the most, probably just because I'm most familiar with that name. And that one says, Ride the Turbo, Amtrak 1975. I don't remember the Turbo. Of course, that was 50 years ago, before I was born. So if anybody can tell me what the Amtrak Turbo was, please let me know in the comments. Hi, excuse me. How much are the Amtrak buttons, pins? Okay. Like this one. This one?
This guy is 10 bucks. This one is 5 bucks.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take this one and that one.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thanks. I guess this is a prototype train. It's called the Flying Yankee, and it says it's coming out in the second quarter of 2025. And they say it's priced at $3.99. This layout's very old school. I think this is an antique. I think. or vintage, and it looks to me to be from the 50s maybe. That would be my guess. Yeah, and I guess these are the boxes for them, which is pretty cool. Understandable why they're locked up like that. Couldn't read the prices though. Now this one here, this yellow one, is $950. It's a 1920s agency cutaway model, it says. It says Duke of Gloucester. That's really cool. Could use a bit of a cleaning though. Get in there with some Q-tips. And then this set here is $3,900. This is $6,500. It says it's a museum quality, one of a kind. I guess you'd call that a coal car, and it's $795. If anybody can tell me what scale that is, that would be great, because it looks bigger than G scale to me. And here's some railroad cards, I think probably from the 50s. He was asking $500 for the whole set, which is definitely up there. I remember buying cards like that back in the 80s for much less than that, but you know, the prices could definitely have gone up in the last 30 years, of course. I love these yellow ones here. I guess you would call this a streamliner, probably from the 30s, and it's $325 for the set, which actually doesn't sound bad if that's for the entire set. And here's some more enormous trains. Again, these seem to be bigger than G scale. The one in the back that looks like a stagecoach is apparently from the 1930s. It says it's hand-built, and they're asking $2,800 for it. And here's an antique American Flyer set. This is $795. I'm not sure what year it's from. I would guess the 20s or 30s. And then this one says it's a one-of-a-kind Montgomery Ward department store special, maroon number 8 with cream stripe, $2,900. This vendor has a lot of great stuff. This is probably some of my favorite stuff at the whole show. And a lot of it is in very good condition. I would say it's near mint to mint, which might explain some of the high prices.
That would be cool.
Here's the Bachman booth, and I didn't see any prices on these locomotives, but I would assume they're well over $1,000 each. And they look really nice. They're highly detailed, and they look solid. They look really heavy duty to me. And they look much less toy-like than the Lionel trains that I've seen so far. Here's a bunch of N-scale cars. So this is the scale that I would probably buy if and when I do get a train set. And most of these seem to be between like 15 and 20 a piece for the cars. These are HO, and this one's neat. It's a Diet Coke caboose. I've never seen one of those before. They had that at $10, and I would assume that's from the 80s. And I've seen these submarine cars before at a couple flea markets, and they were about the same price. They have these at $100 each. And those are really cool. Almost certainly from the 60s. This blue one is apparently called the Lionel Blue Comet, and it's $300 for the set, I assume. These are presidential cars. Looks like $325 for the set of 3, I guess. These buildings are super detailed. They're really amazing. They're way more detailed than the ones I had as a kid. And I'm assuming the ones I had were made by Lionel or Bachman. And this one here is $200, which actually sounds like a pretty good deal for something that detailed. There's something about this layout that makes me think of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Might be that building right there for some reason. Not sure, but that's the feeling I'm getting. A lot of these layouts were here the last time I was at the show back in 2023, so 2 years ago, but they're still just as interesting today as they were back then. I could spend hours, honestly, just staring at these layouts here. They've got so many intricate details, like these kids there playing baseball, I think. I don't know what they're doing. Looks like they're playing baseball. So there's so many stories that you could make up just based on what's going on in these layouts. And I would imagine these took years and years to complete. And this one was apparently best in show in 2023, which again was the last time I was here. And I see why it won. This is Tutwiler Fine Art, and they have a bunch of, obviously, railroad-related paintings. And they're not cheap either. Most of these are a couple hundred, few $100, but a few of them are quite a bit more. This one is $2,500. And this painting hanging up here, I think, was a few $1,000s. I couldn't read it in the video, though, but that's what I recall.
little camera.
Yeah, very portable.
Put that on your helmet when you go skiing?
No, not this one.
No?
No. I really like this one, this old motel here. Don't see too many old motels in train layouts. At least I don't.
Those interested in the Amherst Railroad go to section 34 over 50 miles. Chances of $3 each or 5.
It's kind of spooky. An old hearse with a casket inside. And here's our first Thomas sighting of the day.
I still want to support that side. Yeah. There's the guy we were just speaking of. You don't go pencil, right?
Now here's something I've never seen before. These trains are made entirely out of wood. They're by a company called R. Duck, and they're really impressive, especially this enormous locomotive at the back here. I do not have the patience to put together a model like that. I just don't.
Next year we're hoping to have.
But I respect anybody that does, for sure.
Which will be quite the.
And it looks like this set here is $140. I would imagine that giant one is way more than $140 though.
Somewhere close, because I could always hear it. Thank you very much. And if you need help, that's fine.
Here's some more locomotives. This one is 210. I think these are HO scale. I think. And this one is 180. This is a set of 5 cars here at the front, and they're asking $100 for the entire set, which, you know, it's $20 a piece. Sounds very reasonable to me. This giant suspension bridge by ATT is $100, and that looks pretty old to me. I'm guessing 60s, maybe 70s. Pretty cool. And then here's more cable cars. Looks like that one is 115. Didn't see a price on the others, but okay, and that one's 210, the blue one. Now, if you're like me and you can't really afford a lot of these cars, they do have cheap ones though. These are used, these are HO, and they have $2 a piece or 3 for $5. And then they've also got some that are $5 a piece, $7 each, and those are very reasonably priced. So if you're just looking to start out, this would probably be the way to go. And then most of these here are 10 a piece, which is still what I would consider in the affordable range. And we're starting to get a little bit more expensive. These are 15 a piece, or at least some of them are. That one looks like it says 39, 25. So yeah, still not bad as far as pricing goes. But of course, the bigger and more intricate you go, you generally go way more expensive. And then this guy was selling postcards, and also he had a lot of 35mm slides as well. I do have a very small collection of postcards myself, but they're more focused on like old motels and amusement parks, things like that. Here's some more bargain cars. These were $5 each or 3 for $12. On the right here, he's got some Williams O-scale freight cars, which are 2 for $60, so 30 a piece. Looks like they were originally 40 a piece. Sounds reasonable to me. And this is a 1960s vintage Tyco dealer display. It's $2,500. Here's some G-scale cars. They're $19.99 each, and those look very toy-like to me. Now, I really like this layout. This has a Kmart and a Pizza Hut. I also love these amusement park layouts. They're so detailed with all the moving parts and the lights. I would love to have something like that in my room. You know, forget the trains, just the amusement park. This one's even got moving automobiles. Love it. Love it, love it. Now, if you're into trains, these would be perfect for your man cave.
That's a cool
That's
one.
a little one.
Once again, just to give you an overview of how big this place is, we are still in the first building out of 4.
This is where we put the little car that runs around.
All right, now into building 2. I think this is called the Stroh's building, and this is the smallest one, and it's still pretty big. These are O-scale Lionels. Looks like they're 80 a piece, then they're 40% off. And here's some old railroad lamps. I've seen some of these at flea markets, and they're usually pretty expensive. They're usually a few $100s. This one, though, is $110. And the ones up top are about $150 or so. I have no idea what they're worth, so I don't know if those prices are good or not. And I'm guessing these are headlamps. That's my only guess. They're $150. But I don't know what else they could be. On the top row, this is really cool. This is a K5 railgun, and it's $525 or best offer. That is really detailed. And some little cars here. They range from, looks like 25 to 75 or so. And then this is cool again as well. This is an old U-boat, and this is $425 or best offer. And then this says it's an original McDonald's kit. It's $85. If I had to guess, I would say that's probably from the 50s or 60s. But I could be wrong. And here's some more vintage train sets. This one is it says Canadian 675 set. It's $475 or best offer. And then this one says Canadian Triangle Railways. Do not touch. Never heard of Triangle Railways. I guess it's a Canadian rail line, so I've never run across them before. I love these observation cars. Those are really cool. And then I love this. It looks like, I guess you'd say it's a streamliner, and it's $45. Looks like this train's heading over Clayton Ravine, which reminds me, I'm surprised I haven't seen a layout with the DeLorean from Back to the Future on the railroad tracks. Somebody out there must have done that at some point. This is an Amtrak train. They say from about 1976 to 77, and they're asking $225 or best offer. The tag on this one on the right says New York City Firebox Indicator, pole light. Not sure from what year. And this one says New York City Fire Department pole box indicator, ride light. Not sure what that one is. Pretty cool though. Never seen one of these before. This is a Yellow Submarine branded train car. It's $90. And a 65th anniversary Barbie car. These were $60 each. Harry Potter cars. They got Justice League, Batman, Polar Express, Looney Tunes. And most of these are, it looks like 30, 40, 40. So pretty reasonably priced. So yeah, whatever you can imagine, you can have it as a boxcar apparently. And if you're willing to pay $175, you can add a Taco Bell to your layout. And I thought this was very reasonably priced. This Statue of Liberty, it's for an O-scale train, I think. It's only $40. You know, if I had a layout with New York City and I wanted the Statue of Liberty, I would definitely pay $40 for that. That sounds like a deal. They also had a lot of circus cars. These are Barnum and Bailey. And this one at the bottom is $95, and then the rest of them seem to be $60, $65, $60. And then these are cheaper. These are $35. But yeah, they've got pretty much everything you can imagine. They also had these Ringling Brothers tin sign replicas. These are from 2008. They're $4. So that's a pretty good price. Here's some more vintage train sets. This is an American Flyer HO scale, obviously. And couldn't read when it's from. I think most of these are probably from the 60s and 70s for the most part. Looks like that one is $245. Yeah, I couldn't read the prices on those, sorry. And more of those missile launcher cars. These are really cool. This says $750 for the 3 cars. So I'm not sure which 3 cars they're talking about. Yeah, so most of those locomotives seem to be in like the $200 to $300 range, which, believe it or not, is at the low end. And that one there is $105, the Coke engine. And more bargain cars. Most of these seem to be between about $4 and $7 each, which is really good. If I had an HO set, I would be snapping these up without question.
I want to use the green ones first.
And those are very much like the ones I had when I was a kid back in the 80s. This 3-car set is $250. And then this one's fairly new, I think. This is a Disney 100 Years of Wonder. It's $429. I like this. This is the Paradise Diner, and it's $155. I think that's just decoration. There's no wheels on that. All right, now into building 3. This is the Young building. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll go over there with you guys.
And we've got another Thomas the Tank Engine. This is really neat too. They have this set up like a drive-in movie theater. These trains have been weathered, so basically they painted them up to look weathered and old. And they're asking $539 for the one in the top right. And it looks like most of the others are in the same price range, between like, looks like $300 to $500 or so. And here's the Trix and Markland booth, as well as LGB. Never heard of any of those train manufacturers, to be honest with you. This car up there is $450. This one's $510. So not cheap, but very nice quality, it looks like. Now, I love the looks of these, but the price, wow, $1,200 for that one. This one's a bargain at only $770. And that one is $2,100. Wow. And these ones are $1,400 a piece.
Outside? Outside?
I got
And another amusement park layout, plus a circus. Looks a lot like the Big E, which is actually held at this location. These are some pretty intricate models here by Bar Mills, and I would assume these come pre-assembled, but I'm not sure. They must. I think these would probably fit with like an N-scale layout. They seem to be just about the right size for that.
I don't know. I was playing back in Houston when it's last time.
We've got 300 on that locomotive. I think 350 on the one below it. 225 for that one. 550 for that one, for the Canadian Pacific.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Would Stuart Braderman, that is Stuart Braderman.
This is the Pico or Pico booth. Not sure how you say it. Never heard of them before either.
There's no reason to try to get all the way because we got to go down with something like this.
This is pretty cool. This is a turntable for locomotives. And now into the fourth building. This is the Mallory building. There's some more $7 cars. And some more locomotives. The CSX is $725. The New Haven one behind it is $625. Rio Grande $625. $550 for the blue one. And a Trump one, $650. This green one is $550. The red one is $650. $425 for the orange one. $650 for the one in the back. $750 for the New Haven one. And there's a bunch of military ones over here. This one with a tank on it is $250. Didn't see the prices on the others, but I would assume they're probably in the same range. Yeah, $250 there. Maybe $150 each on the ones over to the right. All right, so everybody look if you can see the ghost train in the tunnel. Oh, I like that. They have the Norman Bates' house from Psycho at the top of the hill there. All right, let me know in the comments if you can see the ghost train in the tunnel. All right, and here's the Lionel booth. And like I asked at the beginning of the video, what do you think of Lionel? Again, I would say they look the most toy-like out of all the other trains I've seen here at the show so far. And I don't think I'm a fan. I mean, I guess they're good for kids, but, you know, if I was going to get a train set, I would not get one that looked like this. Looks like most of these cars are priced at $99, which I've seen them at other booths and they were going for less there. Because I can't imagine paying $99 for one of those. These locomotives don't look too bad though. This one is $549. Same with this one, $549. And then these are what they're calling the Legacy, and I guess they're supposed to look old? Not too sure. But this one here, the Legacy Y68, is $2,000. And it says it's coming out soon, so I don't know if that's a prototype or if that's what it's actually going to look like when you buy it. But these don't look too bad. And this one is $1,119.99. And here's some more of those Harry Potter ones. We got Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross. Never would have guessed Bob Ross would have his own train car. I do have to say, I do like this old school display though. These trains are a little bit different than most of the rest because these are based on European trains, and for whatever reason in Europe they tend to have a lot of electrical wires over the top of the tracks. I'm not sure why that is. This layout seems to be entirely themed after Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, Percy's resting.
And then these are all made out of Lego. And they're obviously not electric. I'm assuming these are all battery powered. I don't remember seeing these the last time I was here. I might have just missed this section entirely. I'm honestly not a huge fan of Lego, but I have to admit this is pretty impressive.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Team Acme.
Looks like we got a derailment. That's a lot of coal cars.
I've never been around for that. We run timetable training. Trying something new.
Uh-oh, we got King Kong on the loose here. Kind of reminds me of the old ride they used to have at Universal Studios. Another amusement park. Gotta love it. It's a weird name for the Ferris wheel, though. All right, and there you have it. That was the 2025 Amherst Railway Society Railroad Hobby Show at the Big E in West Springfield, Mass. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more videos coming up, mostly flea markets, mall walkthroughs, store walkthroughs, things like that. But if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. So thanks for watching. and I'll see you next time.